Leaping strike into their face, they die. Easy game. So here we are into game. It's Hey Gaming versus Cross5. Both teams looking to try and pick away this win. This is an absolutely critical match coming in for Cross5. I think Hey Gaming's in a little bit more of a difficult position. If they don't win this, they're out. If they win this, they have a chance, but it's down to some of the other teams to lose their matches.
Now, some critical analysis first. Hey Gaming automatically win the icon war here because it's the teddy bear holding a sword. I mean, there's not much else you could really ask for.
Yeah, critical, top, high-level analysis.
It's important. It's like looking at skins as well. Like, I mean, the hockey puck skin coming out for Jax. Opal's not casting right now. You don't get the Canadian buff. It's irrelevant.
So, no skin advantage there. They thought that Opal was on the desk today. They saw it yesterday. I was like, yeah, he should be on the desk tomorrow.
Gone. Waste of skin.
Instead, it's going to be me and you. We're looking to see how both teams set up the first match of the day. Pretty even start coming in from Cross5, but it's a very bot-centric start from Hey Gaming. They were looking like they expected a potential invade coming out. I'm a little bit concerned whether or not there's going to be enough vision up in the top side river to give them information on potential vertical jungling or even just contesting that Scuttle Crab.
The Nocturnica do start that top side. We're going to get Rek'Sai starting on the bottom side of the map. Sivir doesn't go for a fake leash. They actually show themselves at the start of the wave. So if Hey Gaming do their due diligence, which you don't even have to, they would know that it's Nocturne starting red buff. And the reason why I said they don't have to is Hit has already headed into the blue side of Cross5's map and placed a ward down on the blue buff. So they can see that buff. They know Nocturne hasn't taken it. And Rek'Sai can now make an informed decision on where to go. Theoretically, Nocturne could do the same, judging on the fact that Fane did go for a leash and Janna came into lane late.
Yeah, just gonna make full use of this information. There's a little bit more aggression coming in from Rubenga, knowing whether Nocturne kind of is or isn't at this point.
Crew is missing that single auto attack, cancelling it by accident there. Doesn't look like much, but again, level 1, level 2. You often see fights won by a single or 2 or 3 auto attacks. Could make a difference later on. This is what we expect in the bottom lane as well. Sivir and Morgana are going to very easily and simply push this lane in towards the turret. Vayne's not in danger of dying here, but wave control is definitely going to go Cross5's way, but they haven't warded just yet.
Furious gank coming in. That's the flank, the flash, knock up. They're looking to take down the ADC first. Sivir is going to get taken down. Janna gets the kill credit.
Really nice gank coming in from Benga, and that's why we said the onus is going to be on him this match. Very obvious that Sivir and Morgana are going to push in that bottom lane. I'm surprised that neither trinket was used by Sivir nor Morgana to spot out this early gank coming in from Rek'Sai. They also had vision on the blue buff. They know that it's currently being taken by Nocturne, and they're going to try and push for this.
Rubenga isn't done just yet. Jumping in. He gets the smite steal, but Morgana's in place. They're looking to try and take him down. The flash away from Reveille, keeping himself alive a little bit longer. Flashing in. Silas comes in with the kill. Now he's getting stuck in between Trisha, but the Vayne comes in, cleans up the Morgana as well. Seismic stuff, not going to get the connect onto Sarah here. They're just going to be able to get away from this
top
fight.
lane.
Might see the dismount coming in, flashing forward, gets dismounted. What is going on?
Deep's in trouble. If that counter-strike comes through, he's going to let it stun.
Looking for the auto tags. The auto tag reset, Conqueror coming out, and the solo kill up in the top lane.
And this is the moment where you just hear any boxing, any MMA commentator, you just hear the magic word. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. That was an absolute disaster for Cross5 just 4 minutes into this match.
4-0, working off the information they established by that blue buff. You're talking about how these small incremental things build up into something more. And they use this full information to rotate down their bot side, get those kills, and set themselves ahead.
Let's start with the early plays on what happened bottom side of the map. Firstly, they got the vision down to blue buff. That gave knowledge that Nocturne's not going to be there. I can't talk about that yet because Deep's in trouble again.
They're looking for a gank up in the top side. Rubenga dishing out a lot of damage onto Kid, but he doesn't have flash. Cannot go for the kill secure. Cruz has to back off this. Reveille pacing after for a little bit longer, but it's just pressure from both sides. The wave is now just going to see itself frozen and pushing towards Cruz.
Oh no, that's not good. Deep actually has messed up slightly here. Cruz can try and freeze this wave now. Unless Clay could jump back on his mount, he's stuck. He won't be able to push that back in. Reveille leaves as well. So Jax could have a really nice lane here. Both teleports are down. Jax can just stay in that top lane now and free farm. Deep's going to lose a lot of pressure for this.
Just going to be able to freeze the lane for quite a while up in the top side.
So again, let's go back down to what happened bottom lane very early on. Great wards to spot out blue buff vision. They knew exactly where Nocturne was going to be. Rebenga then makes the very early gank down in the bottom lane. Sure, Sivir and Morgana didn't use their wards, but if you watch that gank from Rebenga, he got behind both champions and flashed onto them to get the single knockup. Now Rek'Sai unfortunately doesn't knock up multiple champions when he comes out of the burrow. So he gets that single knockup, they kill the AD carry, and they settle for just that. Immediately, Rebenga goes, I'm not done yet. I'm going to continue to add pressure. I know Nocturne's taking blue buff. We now have a pushing bot lane. Sylas is pushed into Talia as well in the mid lane. We have priority in both our lanes on bottom side of the map. We can rotate and pincer this blue buff. Fair play to Cross5. They call Morgana in towards the blue buff to try and protect him. Not enough. This is a Conqueror Rek'Sai. Despite the small nerfs that came through on 9.6, still a very strong jungler at the moment. Nocturne doesn't really come online till level 6. He can't take these duels that early on. And then with the red buff that Rek'Sai already had, with the extra experience, jumps into Nocturne, not only gets the blue buff, but the kill. Then they kill Morgana as well. And Sylas picks up another kill because they get lane priority. They're able to rotate down for those early kills. So the disaster bottom side of the map for Cross5 could have been stopped by a single trinket by either Sivir or Morgana.
I think it's exactly as you said. Nocturne really doesn't have that power pre-6, and I feel like now that they've found themselves in a disadvantaged position, how can Hey Gaming make their way, use this advantage that they've had over Cross5 at this point?
Well, they've got a few ways to do it now, right? Because Crew's top side of the map. A big mistake came up from Kidip. Kidip, if he landed that single bear trap on a rope, he could have potentially gone for that kill, but it felt a little bit overzealous because he flashed while throwing out the bear trap on a rope, hoping to try and maybe connect the skill shot or follow up on the skill shot as well. Good damage coming up. That's so close.
Down to the last auto attack.
I felt like if he can land there, he might have actually got the kill. This is insane coming out from Kyo. You can see how much he understands this champion.
The matchup isn't even favored for Kyo, but he's just taking this lane for himself.
And what we were saying about top side about Kiddy, you know, with the aggressive play, didn't work out. Cruz punished it because he got dismounted, meaning that the movement speed for Cled's going to be very low. He was pushed into Cruz's lane as well, so a stun there means all the minions are going to auto-attack him, dealing a significant amount of damage. He wins the top lane duel. Both of them teleport back to lane. So now top side's winning for the side of Hey Gaming. Sylas is still pushing in. That bottom lane is incredibly neutralized. I think it's going to come down to this next fight. Cross5 still have the great map rotations. They got to wait for the teleport to come up from Kled if they want him to join the fight. But when Revelate hits level 6, he can join Talia to try and gank the bottom lane. And now that it's kind of equalized, it's not going to be a turret dive anymore. They can do it middle of the lane here or there. Rebenga now needs to use this time to control as much vision as possible on the bottom side of the map. Make sure they have good vision to know if Nocturne's going to come in for the gank. Make sure they know if Talia is going to be rotating towards the bottom side of the map.
It's absolutely true. So they have to try and make full use of the vision of this early advantage to establish vision control.
That's what they do.
That's the ward right there.
The ward placing the the connector between mid lane as well as the blue buff, just to spot out if Talia's going to roam down or if Nocturne's coming through the blue buff to try and get to mid lane. Now they're going in for more deep wards around the blue buff and potentially trying to take it away as well. This is really good play coming out from Hey Gaming.
Yeah, and Talia now getting zoned out by Sarah completely over in this tiny corner, connecting the jungle and the mid lane.
Make it stop!
Paranoia coming in. Where are they looking to go right now? The Morgana will get taken down first. They're looking to trade back onto Rebenga. He drops 2. Janna gets so very low right now, but flashes away, trades it with the Sivir. Trisha drops both stunners there as Kyo goes massive.
This is why I said the matchup should have been Kyo versus Trisha, because Kyo is an absolute beast in the bottom lane. Not afraid very early on Vayne to go aggressive, to use the high damage potential that Vayne has to zone people away in between 2 turrets at the same time. Hey Gaming, they lose Rebenga. They drop one of their players. They don't get a return kill for themselves, but are able to push back Cross5 once again and maintain their lane priority. So it's a good return pick. At least Cross5 are able to find one back for themselves.
Yeah, Crossfire get a little bit of breathing space, but this looks like it's just a sort of rinse and repeat fashion right now.
Sorry, it was Don't Cry that fell first, and it did kill the Morgana first.
Okay.
So it was a reactive ultimate coming out for Revelate,
yeah,
trying to make sure they can protect the support.
Yeah, so they do get this like a little bit of a breath of fresh air, you would say. But it is still very difficult, as it looks like they just put a lot of emphasis down the bot side, since the Jax has now found himself in a position able to deal with the Kled to a reasonable degree. It's just easy for them to say, hey, let's establish vision down bot side. We can figure out where the Doctrine is. If he's not down bot, we go for an Inferno Drag, we go for a gank or 2, set things up, and get just a lot of resources for themselves. Right now, it's down to Hey Gaming to try and be proactive with the lead they've established. We are talking about the vision control they should be looking to get.
Look at the vision control they have towards Blue 3 wards placed down there. That's going to survive for another minute or so. They are incredibly safe bottom side of the map. Nocturne's ultimate's going to come back up soon. And if he tries to make a quick push towards bottom lane, they're going to know exactly where he's going to be. Cruz is pushed in towards his turret, as Kled does early on. And he's going to be pretty happy with where he's at the moment. He's got his Stinger, he's got his Tiamat. Happily farming top side of the map. Cruz is not really going to be online for another 3 or 4 minutes. And then once he picks up his first major item, he can start to go toe-to-toe against Kiddy. But, fancies a shot now.
They're looking to trade back a little bit, drawing attention away from the Kled. Instead, they're going to look to try and pick up this Rift Herald as Sarah takes a little bit of a trade up against Cal.
This is the other advantage putting the bottom side vision provides. As soon as Nocturne goes towards bottom side of the map, they go second objective top side. We've got the stronger skirmish comp without Nocturne here. They take the objective down and free Rift Herald going towards Hey Gaming.
But now on the bot side, looks like they're going to see Crossfire start up the Infernal Dragon. Doesn't look like there's going to be much response coming in from Hey Gaming. This fight shouldn't be theirs to take. Instead, they're just going to opt to give that away first. Not the worst thing in the world, honestly. They may lose the Infernal Dragon, but it is just a small stat buff at this point in the game. Instead, they pick up this Rift Herald, which could help cement that pressure.
Good damage coming out into it. Here goes Nocturne.
Paranoia out onto the Janna. He's going to go take him down first. Hitsuzen will see himself taken out along with Rabenga now. Chasing after Sarah in the mid lane. Seismic Shove coming out. Just going to see him zone away for a little bit, but missing out on a critical spell means that the Talia will not get that kill. Teleport coming in from Cruz. He's looking for his fight here. Gets the counter-strike, the stun onto Revelate, but he's not able to find too much more. Looking to try and back away, but just a chase through the jungle right now. Oh no, he's turning things around. He's looking for the fight, but despite the low mana on the Talia, cannot turn things around.
And all the things we talked about that Hey Gaming was doing great, setting up vision, making sure that one of the 3 pieces of the puzzle, either Talia or Nocturne or Kled, can't be at the fight. Yeah, they just throw that out the window. They're like, we're not going to do that anymore.
But they say, it doesn't matter. We have this bot lane. Our Vayne's going to carry us. Kyo flashes in, looks for the auto attack, finds his first kill.
Nice pickup coming out from Kyo there. Just identifies he can go toe-to-toe in the 2-on-2 in the bottom lane. Again, a drop Rift Herald here as well. But that was a very curious play. Firstly, smart move by Revelate. He knew that, firstly, Silas was below half hit points. Secondly, Rabenga was below half hit points. And finally, Hit was all alone. Killed Hit almost instantly. Took down the support first, put pressure onto both Rabenga as well as Sarah, and then allowed the rest of the team to follow up. Now, I don't like that Kled tried to charge into a different target. If he had charged towards the mid lane, they probably have got a little bit more there. But good proactive and counter play, I should say, coming out from Cross 5, identifying that Hey Gaming have overstepped without setting up the correct vision. Cruz teleporting at the very end there was just a bit of a
little sus move, you know?
How's it going?
Yeah, it was a difficult position to be in at that point. He had nowhere else to go, so tried to trade his life and just reset a little bit quicker. Meanwhile, Kled up at the top side finds himself 3 turret planings.
But now we've seen what this movement composition that Cross 5 have can do. A single misstep from Hey Gaming, and that's 3 kills. That goes over towards Cross 5. They still have to be careful. Cruz can't really do much just yet. We saw him teleport into the fight. Sure, he got in the back lines. People already dead, but he can't do much there. He doesn't have his full item yet. So yes, he can do this against Kiddy, but Kiddy's just like, well, I'm Kled. I can still fight you, and anytime you get anywhere close to trying to take me down, I'm just going to get my little lizard to run away. So it's perfectly fine. Cruz needs a little bit more time to get into that one-on-one matchup. And even then, he still has to worry about a Talia, about a Nocturne potentially getting into his lane. Very difficult for Hey Gaming to play around that top side. He needs to continue working around the vision that they pick up, around that early advantage, and keep pressing on the fact that Kyo is the star player right now. 2-0-2 on Vayne. Get him scaling. Get him in the back lines, because later on in the match, it's going to be Kiddy and Revelate jumping on top of Vayne. You're going to need as many people as possible trying to protect him, because yes, Hit has the opportunity to do so with his ultimate, but that's all they have right now.
Charge up in the top lane. They're looking to try and take down Cruz right now. Paranoia coming in, but Rabenga's in place. Looks for the counter gank, but it's too late. The bird coming in. Cruz might get taken down, but survives off the corrupting pot. Rabenga jumps back in, trying to dish as much damage as he can in the last moments, but still going to get taken down, and Revelate gets the kill credit.
Talia just blast cone over towards the Rift Herald pit. Is in trouble, forced to flash away.
The blast cone again, but here we have Hitsuzen as well as Sarah. Now Sarah stuck in between in the pit. We'll see himself escape.
Silas, and again, Cross 5 using their composition very well. You get a charge coming in from Kled, then you've got a Nocturne following through. any player from the top side of the map can be halfway across the map within seconds. Hey Gaming need to respect that.
Yes.
When they don't have the vision up, when they know that the cooldowns are available, Hey Gaming need to seriously respect the composition that Crossfire have put together. Because they started with a 2,000 gold lead very early into the match with two champions that are going to scale very well into late game. Jax as well as Vayne. And now they're starting to throw away that lead they picked up. And it's just due to the great plays at Crossfire.
Oh my, hello, coming in, the chains from the Morgana, gonna get cancelled away, the flash from Nyrus, looking trying to escape, but Silas, great lockdown, just gonna see himself pick up a kill there. A little bit overzealous from Morgana. Nyrus looks to try and establish vision around the dragon, still alive there.
That's a situation where Morgana's going, alright, Nocturne, press ult.
Wait,
Nocturne, press ult.
Did I think I have a Nocturne as my team.
Nocturne, press ult. And Revelate goes, did you not see what just happened top lane? I can't join you there. Yeah, don't cry, just overstepping a little bit.
Yeah. I think very quickly, oh no, there's a fight coming down bot lane. I can't even make my point because they're gonna go for his fight. They're just gonna back off, pop the blast cone as Dragon's Daughter respawn. Very quickly as well, because we are on 9.6, so we see the bounty system has been reworked a little bit. It now has that low 150 bounty. We actually saw Silas work up to 200 for a second and then drop back down to 150 because the CS gap between him and Talia were equalized a little bit.
Really big posts on the League of Legends forums right now coming out from Riot Chat. You might have remembered him as that North American analyst, you know, expert player.
Yeah, you know,
that guy.
Yeah.
And now works for the balance team of Riot Games. One of the first big posts he's actually put out. He explains in depth what they've done with the bounty system, how they've changed it.
Paranoia is active, but they find a target, and it's going to be Sarah. Theo tries to dash away, goes into the final hour, looking for a couple quick auto attacks, but hits him and gets taken down first. Now they chase after the charge coming in, losing vision. It's going to be the Silas using Paranoia in return. Not able to find too much here, and it's 3 dead on the side of Hey Gaming. And
again, Hey Gaming are not respecting this composition Crossfire have put together. Because once more, Nocturne presses ultimate, Khadiv's there as well. They don't even need Talia this time. Talia's happy to use the ultimate to get in towards the top side of the map to chase away Jax. Very patient, very calculated early game coming in from Hey Gaming.
Meanwhile, in the top side, Cruz is one auto attack away from death. No, a little bit more than one, but doesn't have to flash chase after, but should see herself pick up her passive to get a little bit more movement speed towards against the walls, but teleport from Silas. This is a response. Sarah looks to try and get a catch here, but she's going to be content.
Not respecting the composition. There's not much we could say other than that. Crossfire, slight miscalculations in the early game, and then they've started to punish Hey Gaming significantly as they got towards the mid game. And I'm a bit surprised to see this, because now it's once again dead even between the two squads. I'm giving it the favor going over towards Crossfire because of how they've played their composition so far. They're forcing every single time. It's kind of like, oh goodness,
it shouldn't be too much of a fight here, I don't think. He's just going to decide to back away. No, the charge coming in, but that's not how you use it, my friend. Will find himself a little bit more damage onto the Kled, but both sides looking to reset. The Paranoia coming in, and the bait as Sarah goes too aggressive.
Guess what? At any moment in time, another player from the top side of the map will be there.
Is it Talia? No, but there's a Nocturne on this side, so I guess that's going to happen. Meanwhile, Rebenga tries to farm his own jungle camps. Might have difficulty doing that too.
I mean, it all comes down to, you know, something that is spoken a lot about in card games like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, which is threats are better than responses. If you have more threats than your opponent, they have to find the correct response to your threats. But if you've got 5 threats, I could throw all 5 threats at you and say, how about that? What you gonna do?
Right, I think the
size up. Let's go.
Same thing in chess, right?
It's exactly what's happening.
It's a tactical strategy. You apply pressure, you make them respond to you, and you can see right now, Crossfire are in the driver's seat. They've maintained control throughout this game, and just about 19.5 minutes in.
And again, the correct response is usually a counter, and counters, as the word implies, win that matchup. A counter to a threat wins that matchup. Right. But when you have so many different threats, when you have the potential for a charge coming out from Kled, from a Paranoia coming out from Nocturne, from Talia running you down halfway across the map, to Sivir and Morgana who can run you down as well from the bottom lane, you need to carefully pick the right responses. And that's why I thought originally it's going to be very difficult for Hey Gaming. They showed in the early game, we know exactly what to do. We know what wards to put down. We know where to put pressure so they can't put pressure onto us. We know how to wait and be patient. Kind of fell apart in the mid game. And now Cross5 are punishing them for it.
Yeah, we were seeing a bit of a lead on Keo, but right now, Sivir is the one that's managed to find herself back in the game despite the early ganks, despite the early pressure from Rebenga. And now has that little bit of that bounty, so we can kind of see that bounty change as well. Now starting to take it back.
Yeah, Cross5 also have double dragon at the moment too. So despite the Rift Tail picker coming up from Hey Gaming, Cross5 made sure to trade equally with objectives, taking down both dragons so far, which is nice to see. Slowly knocking down these turrets as well. They can continue to do this. And this is where it gets a little bit difficult, similar to when we see, you know, a Caitlyn Morgana composition. Taking down the first few outer turrets is fine. You open up the map, you've got more room to play with, but now you've got a longer distance to retreat as well, which can be difficult, because if you start losing a fight, it's no longer, oh, just, you know, hop, skip, jump, back at my turret. Now it's a hop, skip, jump, hail a cab, 2-mile drive, and then you're back home. So it takes some time. They have to be careful here, because a lot of teams make the mistake of pushing too heavily to take an inner turret. What I would like to see for Cross5 is play around the objectives. You've got another Infernal Dragon coming up another Dragon coming up in 30 seconds. Baron's is up and live at the moment. Wait till you're ready, start clearing vision, deny some of the major jungle objectives like red buff and blue buff from Hey Gaming, take all the natural objectives like dragons, scuttle crabs, try and force a Baron here and there when you get the good position to do so. And then, once you get a big lead, like you've picked somebody up with your composition, then start to go for the major objectives like inner turrets.
And even as we look at some of the power that Hey Gaming has, the gold gap isn't as bad as we would expect, but that gold gap is on the support.
Now, we just saw Silas steal Morgana's ultimate. Remember, he uses his ability power. This is going to be a big fight.
Paranoia chases after Keo. They're looking to take down the Vayne first. Flashing in. Will find that last auto attack. The Rek'Sai is going to get taken down soon after. Now, over on the sideline, Sarah looking to try and find the catch onto Nyrus, but will be able to see himself survive. Sarah chasing after. It's a kite back and forth. Cruz jumps in, but the seismic shot pushes him away. The Nocturne manages to find the catch onto Sarah there, despite the flash forward, and now it's going to be Infernal Dragon respawning, but they decide to go for the Baron instead.
Messy fight coming out from Cross5, and it looked like it could have gone sour, but they cleaned up very nicely. Sivir didn't take any damage during that entire fight due to how well Cross5 split apart Hey Gaming at that Dragon Pit. And they did the right thing. They didn't try to force for inner turrets. Instead, they waited for the right opportunity to attack. Rebenga sees he can go for the play. No. Cross5 react.
Overall, very solid focus on the Vayne here, being able to flash in and get that last auto attack.
It's the double-edged sword of Keo. Keo, the aggressive player, we saw what he could do in between the turrets in the early game. Yeah, 15, 20 minutes when the other team is even on gold and they have so many dive threats, you can't, as Vayne, be moving that far forward into the opposition jungle at the start of a team fight. That is a play you need to make as Vayne. After 1, 2, 3 champions have fallen in the team fight, then go forward, then go into the back line. But first you need to play safe. Because, again, Cross5 retaliates so well. They were ready. They were getting ready to pull the trigger. Revelate was in position. Kiddy was already pushing top side of the map. And then when they see Rek'Sai jumps in, simple flash from Talia, out of trouble, out of harm's way, they can pull all those triggers. Teleport comes in from Kled. Nocturne jumps in the back line. Sivir's ready to go to town with all the ricochets. All they had to do was kill Keo, and he was out of position.
Yeah, it was an easy setup coming from Talia, being able to block off that wall. And the catch coming in here as well. A little bit of an overkill.
I don't know. I didn't see anything. I blinked.
Huh?
I blinked. I don't know what happened.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. Right now, it's a little bit more difficult for Hey Gaming. They want to try and contest this Baron. No Mountain Drakes this game, so that's going to be a little bit more difficult for Cross5. I don't think they have the greatest objective siege right now, the objective clearing speed, but it should be sufficient to pick up this Baron nonetheless, and here they are starting things up. Hey Gaming looking to try and respond to this, but Cruz and Keo are still back in base.
Keo's going to take way too long to get towards this objective. Went back to get the Guinsoo's Rage Blade. Talia's going to build a wall.
Easy block off, honestly.
Let's see if they can get a steal going. I mean, Sarah's got ultimate. Rebecca's going to try and go in.
Paranoia comes in. Sivir won't manage to find the collect onto the Baron here, chasing after the Keo, but a 500 damage crit will mean she loses alive. Charge chases after the Jax here. Cruz running for his life, but Colette says, nah, you've bullied me in lane for too long. Those kills, they don't count. They're chasing after. They want his life. The bad trap on a rope, just gonna find his target, and one by one, members of Hey Gaming get taken out.
Really nice from Cross5. I like what they've drafted in this game. I was a little bit sketchy, a little bit, curious to see how they're going to make it work with Jax, but now they've shown that it's actually, a Kled. The composition's worked well. It's very simple to execute composition. I called it all over at the very beginning. I was absolutely wrong about that. No focus coming out from Hey Gaming in order to keep up the patience and the diligence that they had in the early game to transition to the mid-game plays. I like this. Cross5 are just ramming their heads again into Hey Gaming, and Hey Gaming going, ouch, that hurts, please stop, run away.
Yeah, Hey Gaming have been in a position that they, as you said, right, when you want to deal with a potential threat, you need to find a counter. You don't just try to find a bandit solution, because every time it's going to leak a little bit more, and that disadvantageous position is going to add up and stack into something greater. A lot of the power, a lot of that gold in the mid game that we saw was directed onto the Janna instead of the primary carries, and this continues to be the case. You can see how much of a gap is coming between the mid laners, the junglers, and the AD carry. Now it sounds like Hey Gaming, they need to try and find a window to come back, but it's difficult, right? This mid lane tower, this mid lane inhibitor has been busted. They have a pretty strong champion to form this clan who can siege up the top side, and the Weavers wall can zone them out.
All they gotta do now is Cross5 just need to keep doing a 4-1, keep Kiddeep in the side lane. He's got charge, he can go into the mid lane fight if he needs to. Force him to throw somebody down here. If Kiddeep dives, so be it. What they have to do right now is take the top lane turret instead.
They do manage to find a catch onto Kid over in the bot side, but Benga is looking to try and jump onto the pled here. The three-man fight.
What are you doing?
It's a big party coming out. Size
Hello?
managed to find that kill. Sarah chasing after a little bit more, has the flash available. Not opts not to go for that. Instead, down up at the top side, in fact. Base getting busted open.
Here comes
Paranoia
Kia.
coming in. They might jump onto Theo. They find this opportunity, and they will. Locking down onto the Vayne, but they switch targets a little bit. No, just going to find that kill very quickly. Jax jumps in with the counter-strike, dishing out damage onto the Sivir, but it doesn't really matter all that much because the Nocturne is back from death. Guardians,
you know what?
It's an ace!
Cross5 says, screw you, Fish. We're better at the video game than you are. We're not going to listen to your advice and focus on one side of the map. We want to win everything. We want to assert dominance over Hey Gaming, and that's exactly what they do. They won the bottom lane fight. They took the top lane fight as well. Now they're taking the Nexus.
They chased after Sarah and picked up that kill for themselves too. It's an easy pickup. Cross5 managed to find themselves this win as they managed to make themselves the past 3 games wins.
And after we saw the Cruise Riven win in the top side of the map being not looking too good for Hey Gaming, and now Hey Gaming, unfortunately, I believe that's going to be the game that eliminates them from the C-Tour.
Yeah, with 3 losses, they are unable to pull back into the group. I think that makes them 2-3, and that makes Cross5 4-1, I believe.
Which means it's impossible for Hey Gaming to catch up to Cross5 score anymore. They can't do it.
It looks like Group C is more or less set in stone. We have a couple more matches, though. Those are the critical matches that we're looking out for.
So for Group C, it's still up between Cross5 and Steelwolves. They play later today. Cross5 and Steelwolves are going to play in the 5th match tonight. And that is essentially going to determine who advances to the next stage. Now, that match is going to be a straightforward, if you win, we go through. The reason why I say this is there shouldn't be a scenario where Steelwolves lose Don't Mind. The only way that they can force a tiebreaker is if they lose to Don't Mind and they beat Cross5. So it's going to be, the 5th match is basically going to be the decider who makes it out of Group C. Is it going to be Cross5 or is it going to be Steelwolves?
Looking to see how things pan out for us as we jump into that 5th game. But for now, we're just going to focus on our 2nd game, a pretty critical match coming in as well. A quick look at some of the highlights from our previous game.
This was the Hail Mary play. I disagree with Hey Gaming even going for a steal here. They didn't have the manpower in position to take this 4-on-5, yet alone a steal. But they tried, gave it a shot. They almost got Nocturne, but just not close enough. And then following up, the rest of the fight's all over. Once you take away one piece of the Hey Gaming composition, the rest all start to tumble down and fall. What I would have liked to see there, because you know they're relying on that steal. They tried and didn't work out. I would have preferred to just see them sit back in their base. They already showed that they can try and win the split apart matchup. They were going to send Rek'Sai to bottom lane. Actually killed the Sylas. Sorry, killed the Kled in time.
Yeah.
But it was a rotation that came up from Talia. I'm thinking, what if they had the members to back it up and they didn't give away the extra kills on top of the Baron Gold? What if they were able to make those fights a little bit even? Because Kia was showing that he can try and jump into the backlines. Cruz was trying to jump into the backlines as well in that 3-on-3 top side. Maybe they could have tried to stall out a fight instead of making the aggressive play for the steal and then losing the fight afterwards.
Definitely food for thought, but I could kind of understand why they went for the plays that they did. They were lacking a little bit in wave clear, so they're like, all right, maybe we have to go for this.
It was a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Sylas stole the ultimate coming out from Nocturne. Jumped on top of Nocturne and almost killed him, forcing him to smite Baron. Now, if Rebenga had a little bit more hit points and was able to tunnel into that pit at that given time, might have been able to take it for the team.
Right.
But the ricochets coming out from Sivir are going to be able to pick it up for them.
Yeah, with those 500 damage crits coming in from Sivir. 18.8 thousand damage. That's how you play Sivir, by the way.
A lot of damage.
Tons of damage.
Pressing W. Difficult.
Strong control coming in from Cross5 for the majority of the game. The early game looked a little bit shaky from them. There were a couple of issues coming in, but they managed to pull back from that mid game into that late game and just cleaned out pretty well.
I think this is a deserve for Calumnia. He played that very well, rotating around the map quite nicely.
Right.
I think bottom side and Nocturne made the early mistakes. Kled made the early mistake top lane. The only person that was really solid from start to finish in that match was going to be the mid lane, Talia. Really well played coming out from him. Rotated around the map quite nicely.
Yeah, Cal had a pretty solid game. I mean
it was difficult into Silas. He was being pushed in very early on, but he still held his own.
Yeah,
he wasn't being taken down. He wasn't being caught out.
His teammates were getting caught up around him, and he was like, all right, I guess I can't really do anything because I don't have my weave as well yet. So you just have to kind of hold on, try and shove out the wave, establish a little bit of control. And we did see just that coming in from Cal moving into this game. So hopefully they're able to keep up with this as we see a couple more matches from them in the future.
I mean, we'll still see one more match from Hey Gaming. I don't know if they're not playing on our stream. They'll be playing on the community stream later on. They've got one final match to play. So if you guys are fans of Hey Gaming, do check out their final game in the C-Tour. Unfortunately, they will not be making it out of the group stage. For Group C, it's going to be between Cross5 and Steelwolves. Yeah. Very curious to see Cross5 continue as well. They've got match later tonight. 5th game of the C-Tour is going to be Cross5 taking on Steelwolves on the mainstream. That's going to determine who makes it out of this group.
It's a pretty critical match. And
yeah.
That should be something to watch out for as we get ready to move into our game between JPV and Royal Zone. I think Royal Zone have found themselves in a difficult position. I think they're out.
They're out.
Right, so it has to be JPV trying to pick up this win here because it's
a must win.
It's a close three-way situation between the teams in Group D.
Yep.
I think there's a little bit difference in score from one of them, but it's
3-1, 3-1, and 2-2. JPV are one of the 3-1 squads. Archangels are currently 2-2, and it was actually JPV that took down Archangels last week. So this is a must-win match that's coming up next for JPV. They have to take down a Royal Zone because Royal Zone have not won a single match, and a loss here could mean it swings it back in Archangels or Imperium Pro Team's favor. And in fact, that group is also going to be decided in our 5th and 6th match. 5th match on community stream, 6th match on the mainstream, because IPT play JPV later on tonight. This is a good, preview of what JPV looked like going to that final game.
Yeah, 9-10 p.m. when our really big matches are going to come online, and we see who managed to make it their way through Group C and Group D. So with that being said, guys, we've come. This is it for the first game. We're going to move into our second game pretty soon. We're going to go into a quick little break, and it's going to be JPV versus Royal Zone. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.